This is MikeBot. Today I'm going to be doing my first video in my series of videos on the HueForge program that was just released, I believe, about a week ago. So this is a really neat program. It basically lets you to do 3D filament painting and essentially turn your art into a 3D printed object. So here are a couple examples I have that I've already downloaded and printed, and I will be putting the links for these in my description below, so make sure to check them out. They're pretty cool. But for this video, it's going to be a tutorial on how to basically make your own photos from art to 3D images that you can print on your printer. I previously made a video on my Bamboo X1C with Bamboo Studio. I'll put a link in the description for that video as well. And I showed you how to slice the file, but I'm going to do that again in this video as well. So it's going to be a pretty action-packed, intense, awesome video, and I hope everybody enjoys it. So first things first, you're going to need to download the HueForge app. So to do that, you're going to need to pay for a license. It's about $12 US, which is like $16 Canadian. Convert that to whatever currency you're using. It's very cheap. It's a lifetime personal license. And as you can see, it's only version 0.5.1, so it's not even version 1. So it's still very new software. I want to even go ahead and call it beta because there's still a lot of functions that don't work. Still missing a lot of features, and I'll show you in the video as I go forward with this recording. But for the most part, it is functional and it works. A little bit buggy, missing features, but it works. So first things first, I'm going to drag and drop a photo that I downloaded. And I'm going to try to use a photo here that won't hit any copyright claims on YouTube or any of that stuff. So I'm just going to drag my own little image here. So here's my MikeBot logo. I don't really use this one as much anymore. So it's simple drag and drop. A lot of photos don't work yet. If they're high definition photos, 4K photos, it does not accept them yet, and doesn't accept any raw images either. So simple JPEGs that aren't too detailed, basically. So first things first, we're gonna look up here. So you see it says LED light type. This here is for lithophanes. So you have an option to do a lithophane or filament painting. This tutorial is going to be on the filament painting, so we're just going to focus on that. So we're not going to worry about the light intensity or LED light type or any of that. The wireframe is pretty cool because it'll show you basically the entire wireframe of your photo once you're done working on it. So if you can see here, we zoom in, you can see the millions and millions of triangles that are involved into making this one into 3D filament painting, basically. So if we uncheck the wireframe, that all goes away. You can't see it anymore. So that's a nice little function. You're going to probably want to use that, especially if you're running into million plus triangles. Your slicer could be really slow slicing files of that size. So basically up here, you got your step height, layer height, base layer. For the most part, you're going to want 0.08 from what I've seen. But let's say you want to go to a layer height of 0.04. You can see it slightly changes the image. So the lower the layer height, the more detail you get, obviously. But 0.08 is a good base to start with. So I'm just going to reset it here. Control Z or undo doesn't work yet, and this is only out for Windows at the moment. When you watch this video in the future, it's probably going to be out for Mac and Linux, but time will tell. So that's basically the gist of up here. So you got your normal slicer setting, and keep these at the defaults. You can experiment with them down the road, but for the most part, new programs stick with the basics. So over here we have your different types of PLA. So the TD, I believe, is a transition density or something along those lines. I don't know these numbers at all, and the filament brand I use, I don't even think has these out. I use Everyone, not Sunlu. So I'm gonna have to go in and manually input all my filaments. So I'll go ahead and start with that as an example. So you go ahead and hit new filament here, pick your color. So I'm going to go with red for my first one. And the brand I'm putting in is Everyone, and it's going to be red. I don't know the transition number, so I'm going to keep it as 5. All this makes a difference with your filament painting. So Because I don't have the exact numbers, it's not going to be 100% accurate, but it's still going to work, and I've tested it, and that's how I know. So I'm just going to add a few more colors in. So once again, click New Filament. I forgot to click a color. So New Filament, and next I'm going to do white. New Filament again. So by the way, you can also customize your colors. So you can see if you have the code for your color, you can input it there if you like. So I'm going to do gray next. I'm going to basically add all the colors in my photo here. So we'll do blue next. It's really important to note these values, especially if it's PLA or PLA plus, because it differs drastically. Like, oh, they got everyone in here. So like the Area 1 mat 0.7. I'll have to research all these numbers, and if you guys like, leave a comment below and I'll get everybody these numbers for you. Make sure you hit that like button. So what do we have? We have blue, red, gray. Let's add black next. One of my favorite colors to work with. Next we'll add, we got white, red. Let's add a bit of brown. I'm not going to do pink because I don't think I have any pink filament at the moment, but I got the base colors black, red, blue, white. That should be good to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. So that way I don't have to redo it next time. All right. So next we have your model geometry down here. So you're not going to mess around with these settings too much, but you will need to some degree. So we'll start with the simple ones. This is the detail. So the higher the value, I believe the less detail you get. So the lower the value, the higher the detail. So I'm going to keep it at 0.3. And I don't know if that refers to your nozzle diameter or not. It might. I'll have to get back to you on that. So the width, we have 165 millimeters by 93.34 millimeters tall. You don't need borders for filament painting, so keep that unchecked. Transparent is checked on by default. We're not going to worry about that again. So the depth of your painting, so this here is important. Oh, by the way, you left click to move around, right click to kind of go up, down, left, right, side to side, and then scroll up to go in, scroll backwards to zoom out. So let's do an example here of minimum depth. So if we drop it down to, let's say it was 0.36, 12. So that means the minimum depth of this print is going to be 0.12 millimeters. So I'm going to keep it back at the default to make the minimum 36. And then this one here, it's a depth of 3.24. And when you play around with your depth, it's going to change the print a little bit. So in my case, I'm going to need a fairly large number for the depth because there's a lot of stuff going on in this photo. So I'm going to change it to 4. And then you can see right off the bat, it adds more detail in. So 4 is not quite right, so you have to play around with it a little more. There is a lot of playing around with this. It is still very new software. So expect to have to play around with it quite a bit to get everything perfect. Not happy with what happened here, 3.27. That's 5. Let's bring it down to 1 for a sec. Okay. So I'll show you exactly what's going on here. So at 1.6, you can see how everything kind of raises. So I'm going to leave it at around 3 in my case, because I think that's maybe a little less. Let's go with 2.5. So So the depth is going to be 2.5, as you can see there. And then you actually have different options here. So you can do a clip depth, dynamic depth, and static. I'm going to keep this one as a static. And then I'm going to smooth it out a little bit with this bar here. And you can see the difference it does. So this is smoothing at 0, smoothing at 32. So I'm going to leave it somewhere around 4. You can also play with the brightness a little bit to make it brighter, darker. I'm going to leave it around here. And then you also have the brightness drop down here, which is a really nice function. So this one here looks like brightness enhance 1. Shows all the detail in my image, so I'm going to keep it there. You also have the luminance method. So I like combo. That one's been nice for me. And then you have a little bar here to toggle everything up and down. So I'll just leave that at 1. And then if you want to get creative with your photos down the road, you can set them to be negatives. So it'll basically invert everything. So now comes the fun part. The color slides. So right here where it says layer number, that's the layer. So every layer is going to have a color. So for me, my base layer is going to be black. So I'm going to go up here where I program black, drag it down, and I'm going to make the first 5 layers black. Next, I'm probably going to go with a bit of, let's go with a bit of gray. And then I'm going to make that gray. You can also use the up and down arrows, by the way. So I'm going to make it gray for the first 3 layers. So from 5 to 8, it's going to be gray. Next, I'm going to add a bit of red in. Oh, I don't like what it did there, so I'm going to go blue first. And then it's going to be blue from layer 5 to, let's see which one looks nice. You have to play around with these sliders quite a bit to get the right combination. So let's go with, yeah, I'm going to go up to layer 14 blue. Then we're going to hit the red. There is no undo button, so take notice of that. If you make a mistake, you have to restart it. I'm going to change that over to white, actually. Yeah, white looks nice. Okay, so for that, let's make it white for 3 layers. Then we'll add some red in here. You need to do a lot of playing around and adjusting to get everything just right. See what happens if I throw some brown into the mix. No, I don't like that. You know what? I will throw white in here at the end. So now we're on. So these are all the filament changes, by the way. So if you have an AMS unit or a color unit, make sure you don't go above the number of colors you have. Gray smoke here. I'm going to switch that back to red, actually. Ah, there we go. That kind of looks nice. I'm going to try to get it as close as possible here. So I'm going to play around with the adjusters for a little bit. And I might make a lot of layers to make it look nice. I'm going to throw some gray in to make everything kind of just pop a little bit. Let's do about 15. Layer 15, then we'll switch it to white here. You know what I should do actually is let's throw some yellow in. So 23, 21, let's go up to 21 layers of yellow. So you can see it's slowly starting to come to life. It doesn't look perfect, but this is not really an ideal photo to be working with in the first place. So I'm going to pop in some more red here. Let's add a little bit more blue. Increase the grays a little bit. Increase the yellow. And I'm basically at the maximum for my layers. I have the depth set there. So I'm going to actually give this a print. Let's see what it looks like with the wireframe. Yeah, there's at least a million triangles in here. So I'm going to give that a print, see what it comes out looking like. It's probably not going to be the most amazing, but this is just video 1 of like video 20 that I'm going to make. So to export the file, go File, Export STL, save your project. I'm going to go ahead and call this MikeBot Lego Test. Save. Now it's going to save the STL. Get rid of this thing that says front here. There. Now I've saved the STL. So I was working on another one earlier just before I started this video, and I'm going to show everyone what that one looks like. Where is it? Load. So File, Open File, Load Project. And it was Kratos. So here's the one that I rendered. So here are the different colors I played with. And I've already exported that STL. I've actually already sliced it as well with all the different colors here. So see, when you have a good picture, it's a lot easier to play around with the colors. So that's basically, in a very quick nutshell, the gist of HueForge. I did mention it's a little buggy, so just take note of that. And I actually just lost my color slider. It became a tab up here. Come on, get back in there. Anyway, I'll mess around with that later. So that's basically it for that. So I'm going to close that off and I'm going to open Bamboo Studio and I'm going to do a new plate here. We're going to do that logo test that I did. I forgot something very important actually. So let me reopen HueForge. So if I go here, open project, we're going to go to that MikeBot logo test. So once you created your design here, you want to make sure you click describe. This here is going to tell you where your layer heights are going to be and what they're going to look like. So I'm black until layer 5, red until 8, blue until 12, gray until 19, and pure yellow till 23. And these are the instructions you want to upload to printables or Thingiverse or cults or whatever for people to be able to print your project. So save this. And again, you click describe to get that. So back to Bamboo Studio. I'm going to open up the MikeBot. And I'm going to take those instructions. So first things first, I have a HueForge profile saved here. And it's basically strength at 3, 100% infill on rectilinear infill pattern. Supports off. And I got my flushing volumes all done to 0.5. And my prime tower to 20 by 20. So take note of those as well if you like. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up HueForge, get these instructions, move them over to the side, and slice this plate. So now that the plate is sliced, I can start coloring it. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to go black until layer 5. So I'm just going to adjust this to be black. And we're going to change the black one here to white. Reslice the plate. So as you slice the plate over and over, it gets faster and faster. So we said it was going to be black to layer 5 and then it becomes red. So now we go here, change filament, red, reslice it. So then it's going to be blue at layer 12. So move that to layer 12, blue, reslice. So now we've done black, red, and blue. So next we're going to go up to layer 19 and change it to gray. Layer 19, change it to gray. Reslice. Take note of your prime tower. You might have to move it out of the way after you're done doing all your slices. So next it's going to be gray to layer 23 and then we're moving to yellow. And I don't have yellow here, so let's get rid of this orange. Turn it to yellow. Reslice. I'm going to go change to yellow. Reslice the plate. And then pure yellow layer at 23. And then let's go back to Hue Forge for a sec here. So after yellow, so layer pure yellow until, I think I just messed this up, so let me just go over it and fix it. So we said black until layer 5. So here's layer 5, we're black. And then we're going from layer 5 to 8 is red. I think that's where I made my mistake. So after red, it's going to be blue. So change that to blue. Reslice. It takes a while to get used to everything, but once you get it figured out, it's pretty cool. So we're going gray here. And then where was the last filament change? Gray. So at layer 19, we're going to change it to yellow. And from layer 23 and up, it's going to be white. There we go. This looks better. All right, so there's the sliced file. So I'm going to go back to prepare. I'm going to move my prime tower out of the way. Well, it's already out of the way, but I'll auto-orient everything just to be safe. I'll put the Kratos painting there. Control Z. They don't have that function in Hue Forge yet. So I'm going to reslice this plate, and it's ready to be printed. So that's basically it. That's Hue Forge in a nutshell, and that was, I guess we can call it video 2. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you'd like to see more videos, let me know in the comment section. And just to go over everything one more time really quickly, you have your light settings up here, your filament settings in this box here, your color sliders are over here, model geometries over here. And that's basically it. Follow my video. Hopefully it helps you out. If you have any questions, once again, leave them in the comment section. Thanks again for watching. MikeBot out.